Hey there everybody, Groovy here, coming at you from the Grindhouse, and today we're going to be talking about the new Korean horror drama series on Netflix. Today, we're going to be talking about All of Us Are Dead. Now, if you're not familiar with All of Us Are Dead, I got you covered, don't worry. You can go watch my trailer reaction video, which we dropped last week. Or, if you're not willing to do that, and I don't blame ya, we'll break things down with the video here today, but I'll try not to get too spoilery if I can possibly help it, but there will probably be some spoilers, so consider yourself warned. Now, All of Us Are Dead seems to be Netflix's attempt to combine the long-form narrative structure that was hugely successful with them from Squid Games with the high-octane, high-speed, high-drama zombies of the also hugely successful Train to Busan franchise. And it seems like if you were to take those two Korean franchises and merge them together, you just get like a perfect storm, right? Or at least that's what the people at Netflix were thinking when they greenlit this. But that begs the question, is the show as successful as those two contemporary examples which I used to describe it? And I have to say, yeah, yes and no. All in all, I thought the show was really well done. When I first saw the trailer for it, I thought it was just going to be a Train to Busan knockoff, fast zombies in South Korea, yada yada yada, seen it before. But the trailer really does kind of undersell what it has to bring. What it has to bring to the table is that long form drama which really can work out well in the zombie series. There were a lot of plot threads that they introduced in that first episode, and while there were a handful of them that I feel like they should have just been trimmed altogether for runtime's sake, the way that they were able to roll everything together, have it kind of come together and then splinter back out into other plot lines throughout the season, I was really impressed by the way that they handled the amount of plot threads that they had, even though there were some plot threads that I think could have been trimmed up or cut entirely. And I have to say, it's not always easy to make zombie and monster makeup look good in high lighting from multiple lighting angles and stuff like that. Not everybody knows how to shoot it. And this show just looks slick. It looks expensive, and while it's not huge on the gore, while there is gore, I do have to say overall I was really impressed with the amount of zombie attacks and with some of the zombie makeup that we got and stuff like that. I was also thinking that it might have leaned too hard into the area of action after watching that trailer, and I have to say no, it was more than happy to pump the brakes and rest back on some of that K-drama high school bullshit that I just love as a 35-year-old man on the internet. But I digest. A lot of the plot threads, as I said, did work for me. I thought they were handled really well. But I do like the kind of love triangle, rectangle that they had going on with Anjo and Namra and Bear Sue and Chung San. Like, those were the main characters of the show, and they were handled really well. I thought they were well acted. I was able to relate to them, even though there was that language barrier and the adequate dubbing. But all in all, I thought it was really well. But once you started to get past that, there were definitely some of the elements of the plot that really just should have been trimmed altogether. The one girl who has the baby in the bathroom, like that whole plot thread, that should have been just cut. And then the shift in tone when they go to the police officer, was he Jaik? I believe it was, and his little buddy when they're riding on the moped and they find the guy with the broken leg and then they find the baby and they're amping up the stakes of these characters trying to survive while at the same time having the characters just kind of bicker against each other like a married couple or something like that. Like, I guess that was supposed to be elements of comedic relief, but I don't know, man. The fact that they were in such a dire situation, I felt like it was a bit of a shift in tone. Also, when you start to get with some of the characters, I did love what they did with the class president, what they did with Namra. I thought she was a great character. But at first, I was like, this is the zombie apocalypse. All pretenses of what your elected class president's responsibility or authority may be has gone entirely out the fucking window at this point, right? So some of that stuff, some of that high school drama bullshit, just wasn't doing it for me. And their insistence to go back to that, especially in the first couple of episodes as we were working our way through some of the extra plot threads and stuff like that, I was like, no, not having it. I didn't like that. And don't get me wrong, that's not to say that all the side characters were bad characters. I especially liked Chang San's one friend, the one that got the scratch on his hand. I also really liked what they did with Isak, Anjo's friend, when she turned. I think she was like the second person that we saw turn out of the group. And yeah, that was a pretty good turn, I have to say. They really mined the drama out of that. It was especially that first turn that they had. I can't remember the girl's name. She's reaching for her friend, but then she starts doing the whole zombie twitchy thing on the floor. That was fucking great. That was a really good zombie transformation. And I feel like at this point in time, if we're going to throw all these millions of dollars at this shit, if we're not going to get at least one really good zombie transformation in each one of these little outings on Netflix, what are we doing here, guys? All in all, it was a quality series, but I do have to say there were definitely some elements that didn't work for me. As I said, there were some shifts in tone with some of the plot threads. That was a little bit jarring for me. And there were some parts that really didn't work for me and could have been cut out altogether, like all of the little subplot with the one girl who has the baby. That wasn't working for me. Though I guess I do have to say it's only the second weirdest subplot involving a baby popping up randomly in a horror show or movie that I've seen this week. Shadow in the Clouds review coming soon. But all in all, it didn't kill the entirety of the show for me. It just needed to go an extra step. The acting for it was on par. The show looked good. The production value was there. But there were just some really random elements of that high school drama which the show needs to move past to really start to examine the real depth of these characters' relationships and stuff like that, instead of just kind of having everything kind of revolve around the kind of stuff that they can kind of tell in a high school setting and stuff like that. There's more interesting drama to mine here, and the longer it focuses around high school angst, I feel is more detrimental to the series. I hope we move past that relatively quickly when we move into season 2. If there will be a season 2, and there's probably going to be a season 2. One of the other plot threads for me, which I don't think really worked super well, were all of the parts with the high school professor being the cause of the virus outbreak. Like, I don't know, man. So the more they try to explain stuff in a zombie story, usually the less sense that it makes, which is a lesson that I hope they learned here in season 1, because the more that they try to explain stuff about the virus, like the more ridiculous the show gets. And not ridiculous in a good way, like ridiculous in an unintentional laughter kind of way. Not ridiculous in an over the top, oh my god, I can't believe I'm watching this. That's what you get in Sweet Home. You don't get that in this. This is a lot more dialed back down to earth. This is a lot more closer to Train to Busan. Sweet Home, on the other hand, is totally fucking nuts. They don't get to do the kind of things in All of Us Are Dead that Sweet Home gets to do because of the nature of its story. And that would be okay if it weren't for the fact that Sweet Home also just came out on Netflix just last year, right? So comparing the two, it's gonna happen. So yeah. But all in all, I didn't think the show was terrible at all. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I did. But what did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy this series? Do you guys think that this is the next major zombie epic? Or do you think that this is just more of the same, that this is just going to fade into the background, as I said, with all of those really well done zombie stories that have already come from Korea that are just going to outshine this a little bit, right? Like, it's hard to be king of the Train to Busan hill when you're not Train to Busan. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to drop that comment. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can finally hit 100 followers. And I'll catch you next time. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, stay classy, but no matter what you do, make sure that you stay groovy, people. We outie. Bye-bye.